Hello, everybody, and welcome to Under the Sea Drawing. A lot of people seem to really like the shading lesson that I had posted, and we're doing a fishy theme this week. And so I thought, fishtail out of my way. Wow, sheesh. It's like my cat getting in my face. And so I thought we would do a shading lesson revolved around fish. So let me share my screen and you can see what we're going to do. Present screen. Doop. Here we go. All right. So I found this and I really liked it and I thought it was cool. So that is what we are going to attempt to draw. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with the shading, you don't have to do the shading. If you only want to shade, you can just shade. If you just want to draw it and color it, you can draw it and color it, because with art, pretty much whatever you do is cool, because it's your creation. But I'm going to just kind of go with this. I'm using a crayon. Crayon seems to show up better than pencil for me on here. And I can do a nice crayon shading with it. So the first thing we're going to do is put your paper towel like a door. And I like to use recycled paper. I use the front and backs of everything because, paper is tough to find. All right, so sometimes I even draw on the back of a cereal box. I cut it open and I get that plain cardboard and I can draw on there. It works really good. So we're going to draw a big hill up high up here. I made mine a little crooked. I think it looks a little better when you, instead of having it perfectly straight, it'll add a little bit of angle. And this little jellyfish, he almost looks like a hot air balloon or a pumpkin on the top. So I'm going to bring that like that. And I'm going to bring that like that. And I'm going to do another one here. And I think I'm going to put one more here. I'm going to do one like that. And I'm going to curve that like that. And I'm going to curve that like that. And like that. And like that. Okay. And I'll bring that one down a little bit. And then they sort of pucker. All right. So I would say, let's do something like that. Yeah, that works pretty good. And so same thing, a little wrinkle with a longer one like that. Now I'll make this one a little bit longer because he's not really perfect. All of these are not exactly the same. And then I'm going to get a little wrinkle in like that. Remember, you can stop at any time and rewind and go back. That skinny one, little wrinkle, I'm just going to put a line there. This one looks like it hangs more this way. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that a little longer like that. This one seems to be a little shorter, so a little wrinkly that way. And that one sort of does that. Okay. And then really lightly, because we just want to know where the line is. This is like, if you were looking at this directly from the bottom, it would be a perfect circle. But as your angle changes, it turns from a circle into more of an oval shape. I'm trying to see if I have this. So check this out. So here's my perfect circle if I'm looking like right directly down or in above from the bottom up until the jellyfish. But look what happens when I turn it. It becomes squashed and more ovally looking. And it's more extreme until I go perfectly like this, and then it's a flat line. But you can see like that oval is starting to open up until it gets to a circle. So if you imagine this guy is like from the top is like a perfect circle. So what we have is an oval here on the bottom. So I'm just going to kind of curve that like that. I didn't do it dark because I still have to draw all this other stuff over here. So I think, look at those little ribbony things. Those are really cool. So I think I'm going to start here and I'm going to do this. Okay. And then this piece is kind of coming like that. And there's a piece here. And it's kind of curling down like that. And then that connects. And then there's another piece like that. And it curves down and it connects. It's getting a little curvy down here, isn't it? I'm going to do that. And I'm going to curve it. I'm going to do that. And that's going to connect like that. And I'm going to do that. It's going to do that. This is kind of weird looking. And then I think I'm just going to let it trail with a little bumpies like that. I'm going to go ahead and put some shading on this before I go and make another one, just so I don't get too confused. So you can put these little lines on here. And you can do a little shading from here, kind of goes over, and it sort of fades. And then we got these lines here, and then you got some more shading because this is twisted around and over this part. And put some shading coming down there. We need some shading from the top because it's like an umbrella and it's shading all over. Okay. This part looks like it's kind of in between and underneath. So I'm going to put a little shade in there. And that's putting a little shadow on here. And that's putting a little shadow on there. That's not too bad. That works. So I want to do another one of these. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to have this. It's kind of looping like that. Yeah, that's kind of going like that. Going like that. That's pretty complicated. Curve here. Make that like a roundy loopy. That's going to come around like this. And like that. What we got at the bottom there? Something like that. And I'm just going to do that. You know what? And it's not exact. It's never going to be exact. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it not being exact. All right, so we need some shading from under the umbrella part. And it's probably a little darker right along because this one is behind that one. So I'm going to make that a little darker and put some shading in here. This is hanging over this. Let's do some shading like that. This is over this. This is in front of this though, because see how it's curving, so I'm going to put a little more shadow right here. This got some shadow in here. And it looks like ribbon, doesn't it? If you look up, I'm going to put a little shadow here. If you look up YouTube tutorials, a little darker here, on shading a ribbon, they can show you a really cool way to do draw ribbon and shade it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make a little mini lesson and I'll post that in the class for you. So it'll be in the Google Classroom under assignments. I'll make you an extra one. We got to do the other one over here. He's kind of weird looking on that side. Like this part's really long. I'm not going to worry about it. I think I'm just going to kind of copy what I did over here because that's easier. So I'm going to have that. That'll be that part. And I'll make it go like that. And I'm going to put a piece like this. I'm just kind of copying this because this is confusing to me. And it's okay when something is confusing to you as an artist to simplify it. Put a curve like that and a curve like that. And then we'll curve that down like that, that. that, like that, and curve and put a little raggedy edge here. We're gonna do some shadow underneath the little umbrella part is creating a shadow. All right, he's gonna be, this is in front of that, over it, so that's gonna make a shadow. And this is over that, that's gonna make a shadow. Let me get that one. A little bit of shadow here. It's pretty dark under here, isn't it? But before I do that, I want to put these skinny tendrils over here. So basically you come from this part right here, make a curvy line, and then make another skinny one that follows it up like that. And you can be pretty random with it. I probably should have done that before I drew these, but that would be hard. So I'm just going to kind of go in front like this. I'm not going to worry about being too perfect. And I'm going to put one here. And I think I'm going to have one coming behind. So that, and curve it like that. And let it curve like that. And I'm going to make one here. And I'm going to throw one here. Yeah, good enough. And then, so I want to do the inside part underneath this little umbrella-y part is going to be pretty dark. So I'm just going to go ahead and darken that in. Just don't get confused where your lines are. Ooh, that looks cool. This one. And that little bit right there is just a little tiny bit. All right, we're almost done. You know what? You can actually just extend these with a single line and it makes it look like it tapers long and skinny. Yeah. I'm gonna turn that into a line too. All right, and then each one of these needs a little bit of shadow. So I'm gonna put a little bit of shadow down here. Let it fade to the middle. A little bit of shadow here. Follows this line right here. I want to try and get this to all fade to the white. It's hard to do. And then from here, a little bit of shadow all the way down. You know, and if you like to do the cross-hatching shadowing that we talked about on one of the other lessons, with shadow along here, you're welcome to try it in cross-hatching. I'd be really thrilled to see what that would look like. Obviously, the smaller you draw your picture, the easier it's going to be in terms of shading and stuff because, you know, less area to cover. Light. Let's go dark over here. Try and blend that over here. Try and blend it over here. And blend it out. All right, and it looks like maybe there's a little bit. I'm just going to do some light lines here just to kind of give the feel of that wrinkliness of the jellyfish. All right. So if you you can do any of the assignments that we've done. You can make the jellyfish. Trying to find my other picture. In the 2-3 classes, we made this fish. So you can go to that lesson at the end of this slideshow. There's a link that'll bring you to the 2-5 lessons. And there's always different lessons in the 2-3 and the 4-5, and you are always welcome to do any of them. Do me a favor and either post them in the Google Classroom, or you can email them to me at mlnelson@chccs.k12.nc.us. If you're not in the Google Classroom, I sent an email invite to everybody, but not everybody joined. So if you want to join the Google Classroom and see what other people are posting and talk about artwork, I would love to have you there. And what you can do is, if you send me an email, just let me know that you need another invite, and I can email you another invite so you can join the Google Classroom, in case you missed the email that I sent out a while back about joining. All right, that is what I've got for today. I hope that you enjoy your underwater drawing, and I cannot wait to see what you create. Fish in my face.